Hello everyone, 76 Patriot here, and today I want to do my 2024 house prediction. It's been a long time since I've done this one, guys, so I'm excited. We're going to be using 270 to wins forecasting kind of model thing here, and we can see they've already filled out all of what they deem to be safe or more uncompetitive races, I should say. And of course, here are all the ones lifted. This cycle is going to have possibly the least amount of battleground districts ever, and it's pretty interesting. So we're just going to start by starting off with the first state rather. I'm going to work through all the states here. Alabama, nothing really to see here. It's unfortunate, that we basically had to give the Dems a free district due to lawfare and Mark Elias type of garbage. And that'll go state very strong Dem at the end of the day. Other than that, we have Alaska. Alaska's our first kind of battleground race, if you will. And we can see Mary Peltola, the incumbent, she won by 9.9 back in 22, even while Trump won the state by over 10. So this is kind of crazy. She's basically a moderate, or she grifts her as a moderate. She's not really a moderate, in truth. For whatever reason, she gets a lot of support. Also, Alaska has kind of royally screwed themselves over, pardon my language, with ranked choice voting. So this is one I probably, honestly, I'll put this as leans blue. And that's pains me to say, in Alaska, the seat of, place of Don Young, who held this seat for 70 years or 50 years or something like that. But that's the case. Alaska's weird. Arizona, so basically here we have several competitive races. Juan Ciscomani with David Schweikert in this small district right here, and Juan Ciscomani, who is a freshman, I believe, last time was his first, will be going up. We can see they won by kind of within around a range of a point, both in Biden districts, interestingly enough. Honestly, I think that both of them will win, probably by lean margins at the end of the day. Actually, I just realized I should also add tilt to the designation. So there we go right there. That is a state of Arizona. Moving on, Arkansas, we have nothing of consequence. California, this is a big one. There are a lot of battleground races this time, and honestly, some that I think the GOP has a chance to flip. So, firstly, we can see we will have to hold Kevin Kiley's seat. He won by 7, even though we actually, crazy. Republicans in California have been doing much better in down ballot races, significantly, massively better. I mean, look at that. Even when Trump narrowly won the district. So I think he'll win it by that much this time. And then, of course, some of these, we have John Duarte. This is going to be the big one right here. Can he hold on? He won it by just 0.4, I believe the smallest margin, certainly one of them in the midterms. It's like 600 votes. Absolutely insane. I think he holds on. I think down ballot races in California are probably going to favor Republicans, even though Harris is from California, which you think would have a ton of effect. I don't think it's going to. There's been a couple polls showing her winning the state by a few points less than Biden did. I personally think that'll be the case. And, I'm going to rate that one. Let's go to Valadeo. Unfortunately, fortunately for control of the House, you could say he'll hold on. But unfortunately, he's a rhino and a fraud. And he'll keep his juggernaut performance probably again. Mike Garcia, this guy is great. He'll win probably by a lean margin, even as Biden won the district by 12. Absolutely insane. And then Ken Calvert, this I believe was the smallest margin of his career, 4.6. And Trump barely won this district anyways. And I'll probably give this to him lean. And Porter's district could be competitive. It really could. She won by 3. I mean, look at that underperformance, 3.4. When Trump, and sure, you can say Trump was not on the top of the ticket. I get that. There was no, obviously, midterms are different. But still, with that being an open seat and her being vacated, I really don't know. I'll put it as tilt Dem just for now. But that is the state of California, I believe. But again, potential for Republican flips. Absolutely. So we will move on to the state of Colorado. There's really one race here of consequence to talk about. I should mention Lauren Boebert is not running in this district, so I think it'll still be relatively competitive. Speaking, maybe let's say a Republican win by 4 or 5 points, just due to this district trending to the left, following the Colorado trend, if you will. But it'll still go Republican. This district right here, probably going to go tilt Democrat, unfortunately. It has an incumbent now. Colorado has gone crazy, and that's the sad state of Colorado. Connecticut, not really a ton to talk about here. George Logan came up, but almost won in 2022. I think with Harris in the ballot, that's probably going to be quite a bit different scenario this time, even though I believe Logan's running again. Delaware, nothing to talk about here. Florida, potentially we could talk about some of this stuff. All these people are probably going to win. The only ones I'm not sure about are basically Moskowitz and Soto. Probably Moskowitz would go down first. I don't know. Florida Dems have gotten annihilated. They seem to barely be hanging on by a thread as a party. But these are still a couple districts they're holding on to. I could see one of these people go down should something absolutely go crazy. Trump wins the state by, let's say 13. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't think it will. But I'm just saying, but it could happen. But as of right now, probably not much to see there. Georgia, not much to see here. Thankfully, Republicans made it, kind of, I hate to say gerrymandered, but in a good, positive way, in a legal way. Gave us a lot of safe Republican seats out of this map. Hawaii, obviously nothing here. Idaho, nothing here either. Illinois, it's really only one of note, and this is the 17th. Gosh, Illinois has a lot of districts. This is one. It's has an incumbent now. We can see it was a small margin of victory for both. Biden only won it by under 8. This guy Sorensen won it by 4. Sure, it was in the midterms. I mean, I probably think he'll still hold on by a lean margin, but you never know. If Trump is doing well with white working class voters, there is probably potential here. Moving on to the state of Indiana, there is one we could debate. This is a very similar district. It's a white working class district. In this case, it's been trending to the right. It's kind of urbanized northwestern Indiana city right here, northwestern region, I should say. And Frank Mrvan is kind of a bit of an underperformer, I would say, in general. He could go down. He really could. If Trump is absolutely killing it in the state, he will, I think. As of right now, leave that as lean Dem. But as you can see, guys, there are a lot of opportunities for Republican pickups, theoretically, should Trump do really well. There absolutely are. Iowa, not really much to talk about here. All these people are going to win, even though none only won by less than 1 in 2022. Iowa's been zooming to the right. You look at registrations. It's just going to be crazy. It's going to go for Trump stronger this year than it did before. So all these people are going to win. That's great. Kansas, sadly, why you have a Dem in Kansas, I have no idea. It's crazy. And she won this district by 3 times as much as Biden won it. Kansas hopefully doesn't become a lost cause at some point, I'll say that. Kentucky, nothing here. Louisiana, again, another kind of throwaway, district in which the GOP was basically forced, quote unquote, legally, even though it's not, it's basically Dem lawfare, to hand over a free gift, if you will, of a district to the Dems, due to all the kind of minority rules and Voting Rights Act stuff. So that's unfortunate. But besides from that little rant, nothing here to see. Maine is a big one. This is one that is going to go down to the wire, I think. Jared Golden is kind of this weird, he's one of these kind of remaining quote unquote moderates, The problem is he's not. There are a few exceptions. I will hand it to the guy to save his hide. He does vote, you know, somewhat reasonably once in a blue moon, once every now and then. But generally, he's just another lock, stock, and barrel Dem in a lot of ways. And we can see, look at the massive amount of ticket splitting in this district. I think this may be one of the closest races, because Austin Theriault, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name there, is a pretty strong candidate from what I've seen, at least from what I've heard about him. So I think this might be the race, kind of the challenge of Golden's life, if you will, of his political career. I'm probably still, at the moment, going to rate it as tilt Democrat, just because I don't want to be too overconfident. We obviously see there's a willingness to ticket split here. But I think there's going to be a real fight on Golden's hands here for the first time. Maryland, this is one. You have Neil Parrott, he's a great guy running, but he's probably still going to lose by a likely margin. This is Maryland, after all. So moving on, Massachusetts, of course, nothing here, one of the bluest states ever. Michigan, this is big. We have several districts here, of course. We have John James. I don't know why I'm kind of going out of order here, but John James is going to win by a lean margin, I predict. Dan Kildee, he is stepping down, retiring, and he kind of was a juggernaut. He really was. Look at this difference right here. In a midterm, of all times, he won it by 10. Same thing with Slotkin. These are narrow Biden districts, and back in a Dem kind of overperformance, quote unquote, in 2020, I still think they probably, at the moment, this might be a lot of people I know have at least one of these leaning red. I'd love to, just to be cautious, and so we don't kind of blow our predictions like we did in 2022. Let's just say they both go tilt Dem, but these are going to be close, guys. I mean, these are going to be close at the end of the day, particularly with these overrated and legitimately somewhat popular, though, incumbents stepping down. Going to go down to the wire. Whoops, I don't know what I did there. Okay, moving on. Minnesota, really only one of note. Craig will probably hold on by a lean margin. No surprises there. Mississippi, nothing here. Missouri, nothing really to talk about either. Although I will say, thank God that Cori Bush lost her primary. We didn't flip the seat, obviously, but just a good sign for the squad, if you will. Montana, we have Ryan Zinke. This one was kind of notoriously competitive when it shouldn't have been as much. He barely won it by 3. He'll probably win by more this time. Montana is going to go hard red for Trump this year. But still, we have Nebraska. This is a big one. Nebraska's second. We have John Bacon. This is a Biden district. 6.3. This is where Omaha is. It's been trending to the left off a cliff. I think Harris will probably win it this year by several points. Don Bacon will probably still hold on very narrowly. He's this weird animal, very, very liberal, moderate, horrible Republican incumbent that will probably, this may be his last time of winning because the district is just plunging to the left. But I still think he'll hold on at this rate. Nevada, sadly, the Dems gerrymandered this, so unless there is a massive Trump surge, which there very well could be, they're probably all going to win just because that's how it is due to the nature of these districts. Very sad, but hopefully there's an upset. New Hampshire, this district is only the first is even remotely competitive, and it'll go Dem probably by either lean or a likely margin this year still. New Hampshire, when it comes to districts, seems somewhat inelastic as of the past several cycles. I don't know why. New Jersey, we really only have one. This is Tom Keene. He's the incumbent now. Pretty moderate, but I think he'll win by, I'm not sure, probably a lean margin at the end of the day. So that's good. We're obviously holding our own there, even in a Biden district. But that's good. New Mexico, we really have one here. I believe, Yvette Herrell is running again. She was a great incumbent. She was one of the Freedom Caucus members, I believe. They got narrowly ousted, surprisingly, and by 0.7 back in 2022. Even though this is more of a Biden district, I just don't know. I'd probably rate this as tilt Democrat, but that could change. I think Trump is going to perform several points better in New Mexico. Who knows how far those effects extend. Basically, I'm just giving it tilt blue mainly due to incumbency at this point. New York, New York. There are a lot of things to talk about here. I kind of got to rush because this video is going to go on forever, but I'll just go fairly fast through these ones. Desposito, well, first of all, I should mention Suozzi going to hold on, sadly. Desposito, I think he'll hold on very narrowly. I mean, I'm not sure. I really am not sure. Lawler, I think will hold on. Pat Ryan, he's going to hold on. Molinaro, I think he'll hold on for sure because it's not a terribly huge Biden district. Brandon Williams, I think, is going to go down. I think that's the first big flip. And you know what? You could make the case that Desposito does too. You could make the case. Brandon Williams, though, I think the district is just trending to the left too far. Desposito is in an area where at least Republicans have made up a lot of gains since. He's in, the 4th district, yeah? Williams is in a district that's just trending to the left, central New York. Sadly, I think he goes down. So that's it. We've lost, I guess, 3 seats at this point, counting Louisiana and Alabama. So moving on to the state of New York, or from the state of New York, we have North Carolina, my home state. And there's really only one, thank God for the NCGOP that basically guaranteed all these states, kicked out 3 Democrat incumbents. It's beautiful. And we basically have one, Don Davis. I think he'll hold on. I mean, it's going to be a squeaker. His opponent could very well win. I hope she does. I mean, Trump's going to win the state by a couple of points more than he did in 2020. We can see this was a very narrow Biden district. And gosh, I don't know why they don't have margins all of a sudden. I don't know how much he won by. I think it was probably like a point or 2 more than that, if I remember right. But still, it's really weird. Hopefully there's an upset. That's all I'll say. But North Carolina, if/when Republicans take back the House, it'll be because of North Carolina, partially, giving us those 3 seats. North Dakota, nothing here. Ohio, we have a couple potential, districts here. Cap Torres, unfortunately, is going to hold on Democrat. I don't know why. It's a Trump district. They like this liberal lady. I have no idea why. Sykes, probably going to hold on by tilt margin. She's incumbency now, and you can see she even outperformed back in the midterms. Oklahoma, nothing here. Oregon, we have 1 main district. Well, I actually have several, I guess, but we look at that. Selena's probably not going to underperform Harris as much as she did underperform Biden. DeRemer's seat here is really, can she hold on? This is almost a 9-point Biden district. I think she can due to incumbency. However, I would not be shocked if she goes down. I would not. Just going to say it right now. Moving on to Pennsylvania, we have several here. This is hard, guys. This is hard. One of these is going to go down. I'm just going to say that right now. I predict at least one of these will go down. I don't think both will. I think if you look at the way these voted, probably Cartwright is maybe the first to go down because, look, he's in a Trump district. So he probably goes down if one of these is to. Wild, on the other hand, she may hold on due to incumbency. Depends how well Dems do in the state. But there would be another flip right there. And I really hope this happens. I think it will at this point. Trump is probably going to do a couple points better in the state than Biden. I mean, he's going to win the state, I think. So, Rhode Island, nothing there. South Carolina, nothing there either. South Dakota. Tennessee, we're on a streak of states where there's nothing. Texas, there's not really anything super competitive. I guess it'll be interesting to see how well Republicans do in Cuellar's and Gonzalez's districts due to that kind of South Texas red Hispanics voting for the GOP phenomenon, if you will, that's been emerging in the past several cycles. So I think it'll be good to watch, but nothing I'm banking on, like no flips or anything. Utah, nothing there. Vermont, nothing there. Virginia, we have several districts. I think Higgins will hold on, even though she's in a Biden district. She's pretty popular from what I hear in her district, at least relatively speaking. Spanberger, even though she's retiring to run for governor, probably stays Democratic. Although I'm not sure I would put it as lean. Yeah, I might leave it as that. Biden won it by almost 7. Um, then we got Washington. This is one of the last biggies. This lady right here, MGP, is the incumbent in a Trump district. So weird. But, again, one of the shocking losses back in 22. Joe Kent is running again this time. He is going to hopefully win. I predict him to flip the state. We just had primaries. Republicans won more votes than the Democrats if you add them all up. I think he wins at the end of the day. It's just, I feel like it's too Trump friendly, even with an incumbent, to lose. I hope I'm not wrong, but that would be big if that's another flip. West Virginia, nothing here. Wisconsin, I don't think any. Yeah, Van Orden's probably going to hold on, particularly if Trump's doing better. Wyoming, nothing there. And that's it. We're to the end. So, moving back all the way to the top, this video has gone on way too long, but we see Republicans narrowly gain control of the chamber, retain control, 223 to 212. Obviously, there's a lot of districts here that could change. I see a lot more seats that could probably flip Republican than seats that could flip Democratic. I'm just going to say that. Sure, Despacito could lose in New York or DeRemer in Oregon, but there's a lot of seats. You look in California, you look even in Ohio, you look in North Carolina, and I mean, heck, Pennsylvania. You look across the nation, and there are a lot of states that could flip Republican in a Trump surge scenario, or even just in general. So that's basically it for this one, guys. Let's again keep fighting to make this the actual result on November 5th. It'll be glorious. It would be amazing. And also, Trump needs, an America First House to be able to pass his legislation, assuming that he gets elected, which, again, we got to keep fighting for that. So that's it for this one, guys. I'll see you in the next video, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.